Hi friends, it's Miss V, and we're learning about ocean animals this week. So I am reading Mr. Seahorse, which is one of my very favorite Eric Carle books, because I actually drew all the characters for one of my former favorite teachers. So we are reading Mr. Seahorse for our ocean week this week. Mr. and Miss Seahorse drifted gently through the sea. Miss Seahorse began to wiggle and twist this way and that. "It's time for me to lay my eggs," she said. "Can I help?" asked Mr. Seahorse. "Oh, yes, thank you," said Miss Seahorse. And then she laid her eggs into a pouch on Mr. Seahorse's belly. "I'll take good care of our eggs," said Mr. Seahorse. "I promise." As Mr. Seahorse drifted gently through the sea, he passed right by a group of trumpet fish hidden in a patch of reeds. How many do we see? 1, 2, 3, 4 trumpet fish. But before long, Mr. Seahorse met another fish. "How are you, Miss Stickleback?" asked Mr. Seahorse. "Delighted," replied Miss Stickleback. "I just built a nest, and right away Miss Stickleback laid her eggs onto it. Now I am taking good care of them until they hatch." "Keep up the good work," said Mr. Seahorse, and swam on his way. As Mr. Seahorse drifted through the sea, he passed right by a lionfish hidden behind a coral reef. But before long, Mr. Seahorse met another fish. "How are you, Mr. Tilapia?" asked Mr. Seahorse. Mr. Tilapia couldn't answer. His mouth was full of eggs. I know, said Mr. Seahorse. "Miss Tilapia laid her eggs. Now you are taking good care of them until they hatch." Mr. Tilapia nodded his head. "You must be very happy," said Mr. Seahorse, and swam on his way. As Mr. Seahorse drifted gently through the sea, he passed right by a pair of leaf fish hidden among the seaweed. A pair is 1, 2. But before long, Mr. Seahorse met another fish. "How are you, Mr. Curtis?" asked Mr. Seahorse. "Perfectly fine," replied Mr. Curtis. Miss Curtis laid her eggs, and now I have stuck them on my head. Now I am taking good care of them until they hatch." "You are doing a good job," said Mr. Seahorse, and swam on his way. As Mr. Seahorse drifted gently through the sea, he passed right by a stonefish hidden behind a rock. But before long, Mr. Seahorse met another fish. "How are you, Mr. Pipe?" asked Mr. Seahorse. "Couldn't be better," replied Mr. Pipe. Miss Pipe laid her eggs along my belly. Now I am taking good care of them until they hatch. "You should feel proud of yourself," said Mr. Seahorse, and swam on his way. But before long, Mr. Seahorse met another fish. "How are you, Mr. Bullhead?" asked Mr. Seahorse. "Tip-top," replied Mr. Bullhead. Miss Bullhead laid her eggs, and the eggs hatched. Now I'm babysitting." "You are doing a fine job," said Mr. Seahorse, and swam on his way. This time had come for the seahorse's babies to be born. Mr. Seahorse wiggled and twisted his way in that. At last the babies tumbled from Mr. Seahorse's pouch and swam away. One baby turned around and tried to come back onto the pouch. "Oh no," said Mr. Seahorse. "I do love you, but now you are ready to be on your own." And I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 baby seahorses. I hope you see that many too. And I also hope you enjoyed Mr. Seahorse by Eric Carle. Bye, friends.